Hi, this is Rod Solar from LiveC Solar. I'd like to show you in this video how to insert images into your post. So we've got our post here, and the way obviously we get to our post is through the dashboard. We need to arrive at it through the All Posts menu, choosing the post, and once we're in the post, in the editing screen, what we want to do is we want to insert the image. Now, there's a little thing up here called Upload Insert, and there's a camera with some musical notes as well, and there's also another little form here. Most of the time that won't be in yours, but this one certainly will be, which is the camera and the notes. So this is how we insert an image. So we click on this. That gives us the Add Media window. In the Add Media window, we have a few choices. So what I want to do is I want to show you the From Computer, the From URL, and the From Media Library choices. First of all, we'll show you the From Computer. So if I have an image on my computer that I'd like to upload onto WordPress, I don't have to drag it into the post, I don't have to do anything like that. I have to select the file, and then I have to actually put it into WordPress. Now I can drag and drop that file. For example, I'll do that from my computer now. Here's the file coming in and dropping it here, and it actually uploads. So now I've uploaded my image. It's called Earth from Space. I can also choose to actually get the file from my computer. If I want to click on Select Files, I get my opened file directory. This is a Mac computer, so yours may look different if it's Windows, but it's essentially the same thing. It'll open up into a directory where you can choose the image you're looking for. There it is, and then just simply press Open, and the image will appear. But for now, we've already uploaded the image, so I'm happy with that. It's got a good file name. That's important for SEO purposes, to have a coherent file name as opposed to something that says image1.jpg, for example. It's got my dimensions there, so it's a pretty sizable image. Now, I can't have an image of that size, so I'm going to make it a little smaller later on, but I'll show you how to do that in a minute. Now, my title is here. That comes straight from the file name, and so I don't have to worry about that too much, because actually a good, well-titled image on my computer will translate directly to WordPress with the correct title. That's useful because if I want to look for images in my media library later, it's really important that they have titles that make sense. Earth from Space, my alternate text, an easy way to do that is just to simply highlight the title, type in an image of Earth from Space, and that's your alternate text. Now, obviously, there's a lot of ideas that go into alternate text. For example, if I was writing a website about space travel, I might put in the word space travel, but for now I'm going to leave it at that. Alternate text is read by Google as a searchable text, so that's an important thing to include in there. And so in Google image search, for example, your images show up not because of what's in the image, but rather the alternate text and how the image is titled. So it's important. The other thing about alternate text is that it shows up for users who don't have their images switched on. And that can also be an important feature for those who are using the internet on mobiles or tablet devices or slow connections. So it's an important thing to add. Now the caption, that's actually going to appear in my post. So I want to write something that makes sense. I might just put in, here is an image I took of the Earth from space while I was walking on the moon. And that's my caption. The description of the image is not necessary. It's not vitally important because nobody really reads it or looks at it, so I'm going to leave it as it is. The link URL, only if I only want to actually add a link URL that's specific if I want to have somebody click on the image and go somewhere. I don't usually do that. I don't usually have cause to, so I'm not going to do that at this time. I can just leave it none, or I can leave it the file. For the moment, I'm going to leave it the file, which means that if somebody clicks on it, that means they're going to see a larger representation of the image, and that sometimes can be useful. If not, just leave it none. Now, it's defaulted to center here for the alignment, which I'll leave it for now. Your default may be different. In fact, it usually might be defaulted to none. So actually, I'll leave it like that for now. And then here's my size options. Now, if I want it to appear as a thumbnail, it's 150 by 50 pixels. If I want it to be a medium size, it's 300 by 203. These sizes are mandated by the proportions of your image already. It's not going to change the ratios. However, there are some standards that it follows, and those are editable through your WordPress control panel. For the moment, I'm going to actually leave it as a medium, and I'm going to then insert it into the post. So I insert it into the post here. And now, if I look at my post, there it is, the image inside the post. It's at the right size that I wanted it to be, and now I notice that it's sitting above my headline. Now, I might not want my image above my headline. I may want it below. So, if I wanted to do that, I can go into the HTML. I can see the image code here. There it is, from caption to caption. I copy it, or cut it. I put it where I want to put it, which is at this moment right underneath the H1, the heading 1. I leave it there, and then I go back into visual mode. Now, as you can see, the image is underneath the heading 1, and that's where I want it to be. Now, let's say I want to add an image in another image, and I want to do it in a different way. And I want to add this image. I've learned my lesson now, so I'm going to actually add it underneath this heading. I'm going to put my cursor there. Okay. Sometimes I find, just out of practice, it's a good idea to add a space and bring your cursor back into the empty space. Then I'm going to actually go back to this icon where I can add media. And in this particular case, let's say, for example, I don't have the image on my computer. I want to add an image from a website. I go to From URL. So this is asking me for an image from a URL, a location on the internet. Now, why might you want to do this? Well, it might not be an image that you can download. You may want to just point to the image. It might be an image that changes frequently, and you want it to point always to the latest version of the image. I don't often find a lot of cause for this, but I'm going to show you how to do it anyway. So I'm going to grab my image from the URL. That's the image I want to use. I need to go and find the image first, and therefore find the URL for it. And I'm going to put in that URL here, just copy and paste. I'm going to title my image just as discussed earlier. So this is an image of Rod Solar. And then I may also do that same text for the alternate text. The image caption may say, here I am giving a talk. And that's my caption. My alignment, I'm going to leave it as none for now. If I want to link the image again, wherever I want it, I may link it to the larger size of the image, just as I did before, and now I will insert it into post. Now you can see an issue here is we can't necessarily change the size of the image, at least in that editor view. So that might be a little bit of an issue, so we may want to change that later. Now, I'm going to just decide now to add another image, but this one I will do it from an existing image that's in my library. So I am going to then go and place my cursor back where I want my next image, leave a space, and go back to the Insert Image or Add Media button. Here I have an option of going to my gallery. Now it has a little 1 next to it because I've already uploaded an image in this session, and so it's telling me that I have a certain number of images uploaded. So there's my image. Now, what I want to do for the moment is I actually want to choose that image. I do it exactly the same way. That's if I had added images, several images at once or in the same session, and I can pick and choose. But for now, I'm going to go to Media Library. And in the Media Library, it's going to show me a number of images, all the images that are in my website. And so, as you can see, the latest one is here, Earth from Space. I already have that image in my post, so I'm not going to worry about that. But actually, I have an image here that says Rod speaking in Milan. I want to add that image, so I'm going to show it. And there it is. There I am speaking in Milan. That's got a terrible file name. and it looks like we've already fixed it. So it says Rod speaking in Milan. That's the file name. That's fine. The alt text is not there, so I'm going to add it. And the quick and easy way is an image of Rod Solar speaking in Milan. I just pasted that. I might add a caption, Rod Solar speaking at Escris 2012 in Milan, in Italy. Description I'm not going to worry about. There's my link, and there's my size. I'm going to just insert that into the post. And there it is. So now, as you can see, if I scroll back up, I've got my post now with several images in it. Got an image of Earth from space, myself giving a talk, and then giving another talk from a distance. Now, let's have a quick look at what this looks like. If I want to preview it, as I discussed in the video about previewing content when adding pages, I'm just going to click this button called Preview. It's going to provide for me a preview of the page. There it is. And as you can see, it looks like it would look when the page is published. It's simply added the images, and the images actually look okay. This one I can see is a little bit off center, so I may want to reduce the size. This one up here, I don't like that space here on the right, so I'm going to change the alignment of that image. And this one, I have the same problem where I don't like the space on the right. But what I might do is I might, just to show you something different, center that image. Okay. And that's it for the images. Now I'm going to go back into my post. Now that I've seen what I'm looking at, and I'm going to do some image editing. And it's quite basic here. I'm going to go and click on the image. Once I get a yellow highlight of the image, that tells me that I'm at the image, ready for editing. I click that little picture image, and this gives me some options now. So I've got an ability to edit the image up or down. Now I can't necessarily increase the size of the image, because if I do that, then that means that I am losing quality. Instead, if I want a larger image, I need to re-import the image at a higher resolution and then choose it from there. Now, if I wanted to reduce the size of the image, I could do this. As you can see, it's getting smaller in text context. Instead, I'm not going to do that. I might look at advanced settings here and see that there are other options for the image, changing the size, bringing it back to the original size if I wanted to, adding spaces, which should actually be dictated by other things that we've set up in your website already. So I'm not going to worry about this too much. However, one of the things that I did want to do is I wanted to change the alignment, because I wanted to get rid of this extra space. So I'm going to align it left, and as you can see in the preview, it moves the text and covers that space. I'm going to update that now, and as you can see, it is aligned right. Now, I'm going to now move to this image and change the way that looks, because as you recall, in the preview, it was showing as much too large. So here I'm going to do the same thing, click at yellow, edit image, reduce the size of the image to, I'm going to guess at the 80% will do it. It's now sized at 80%. I'm going to update that. It's smaller now, and that's fine. If I realized actually that I don't want to say, here I am giving a talk, I might want to say, here is Rod Solar giving a talk, because I want my name to show up on Google as opposed to I, which would be more specific. That's how I change the caption. Pretty easy. And now here I wanted to move the image, and I'm going to actually decide to click that again, edit the image, and move it to the right. As you can see, the text is flowing on the left-hand side. I'm going to update that, and there the image is. So that's my image editing. Now if I want to preview this and see what I've done, I can click on Preview. And that should bring up my preview page. As you can see, the image of the Earth from the moon is on its left. The image of me is now all visible. And the image of me giving a talk is on the right-hand side, which is where I wanted it. And that's what I need. So, what else is there to do? Well, we can't leave it at that. Let's say, for example, we want to get rid of one of these images. Let's say I don't like the Earth and the moon anymore. I'm going to get rid of that. How do I delete it? I'm not deleting the image from history or from my memory. I just simply click this, delete image, and it's gone. The image is gone from the post, but it remains in the media library. If I want it back, I simply have to go back. I open the media library, open the gallery again, because I'm in the session, and there it is. It's also at the very top of the media library because it's the last image I uploaded. So if I wanted to put it back in, I could just simply show it and insert it into post. Okay, I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to leave it as is. And now I'm going to update the post, because that's more or less how one saves it. And that should do it. So now I have my post. It's ready to go. It's still ready to publish at the same schedule, and it's got all my images in it. And that's how I add images.